Alright, ladies and gentlemen, fellow cultivators and seekers of the Tao, I have returned with a second part of Immortal Taoists, and I'm going to touch on some stuff that I didn't quite touch on last time because there was so much to cover and the 28 minutes was long, and this one's probably going to be long as well. But first of all, had a question from Lucas Cruz who asked, he's gold core and wonders whether he should be buying skills. Now, I would definitely recommend buying as many skills as you can afford. Now, skills end up being a decent source of income once you're at this point, as you can see with I've learned most on the second floor with the occasional, I don't know why there's one there, but I'm going to buy that real quick. But yeah, once you've owned them and learned them, especially getting up to the third floor, you can, and I kept a third floor skill from my search just so I could prove this point. This is a Chaos Pieces number 5. Now when I sell this I get 15,000 Spirit Stone. So you do eventually recoup what you spend on skills just through searching the floors. So you do want to buy as many as you can get, or at least as many as you can afford. I still recommend caution on the 30k Spirit Stone ones simply because it's so expensive, and once you ascend, well, costs just go up, to be honest with you. They just go up and up. But that does end up being a good source of income later game. Now, moving on into Dungeon in Adventure. Now, the reason I missed this out last time is because you need to be Nihility in order to even access this, but it's pretty straightforward. We go into it and it's basically a puzzle game. You collect up to 3 things. I'm pretty sure it's 3 things every time. Oh, this is the end of one dungeon, so I have to fight a boss and hopefully win. Yeah, I'll win. The misses though. There we go. Alright, I'll just get past this bit into the next one. So you collect the 3, you go into the golden thing, and you get put into a puzzle. Now the idea is this little car looking thing has to get down to the bottom where this keystone is. And then once you push through it, you see at the bottom it says level clear reward. You get those meridian uh, pills for doing so, and you can do it up to 10 times a day. And once you've completed the 10 times, you'll come back to this screen, and then you want to click clear out. Now, you only want to click clear out after you've done your 10 for the day, so you get your maximum rewards. That's very important because you always want to maximize your rewards. Now, from the from the meridian pills, we go into dwelling. And last video I passed on showing you what Talisman Soul and Meridian does. So I'll go into that now. I'll cover Meridian first, then I'll come back to Talisman Soul. Now with Talisman Soul, you need Meridian pills in order to upgrade your Meridians. You know, good Meridians, good foundation, more strength. As you can see, every level gives you 10. Basically, I'll upgrade. I get 10 every stat. Now when you get down, you saw from the head down to the shoulder. That's 1, all the way down to your feet. Once you get to your feet, you get to upgrade your perception and fortune by 10 each. So your level corresponds to how much perception you get times 10 at the end of your meridian cycle. So you will need a lot of pills. You will need to do those every day if you can, because they're important. They give you a lot of stats. A lot of stats. Now, Talisman Soul, you will need these little green things. Now, these little green things are from treasure maps, which I don't have at the moment, but I'm sure you've seen treasure maps so far. You look at the treasure map and you go into adventure, you go to the one it corresponds to, you go into it, you go to the coordinates it gives you, and you get some treasure. Now, I do recommend doing a few of them, but you can afford to wait because you get this top right one as you level up in Realm. You'll get this treasure hunting ability, and it will automatically use all the maps you have and will give you corresponding rewards for it. So save time. So it's like the higher realm you get, the more time you can save as you go. But yeah, moving on. Now, I personally had issues with where to find cauldron and furnaces to put into my alchemist and blacksmith, and I have recently discovered, because I guess I'm a fool in that way, but in Blacksmith, now you see how it's level 4 Alchemy Furnace Plan, level 5 Alchemy Furnace Plan, level 6 Alchemy Furnace Plan. Now I assume that just kept going all the way up to whatever, and I didn't actually look at what was here. And that's a level 5 Cauldron Plan when you reach level 5 Blacksmith, and you're going to need those plans as soon as you hit level 5 Blacksmith, and that has actually slowed me down immensely, because I was only operating off 40% efficiency every time I wanted to make something from the blacksmith, and that has cost me a lot of high level materials from in Ascendance, and it's very depressing. And once you hit level 5 blacksmith, to be honest, and alchemist, don't bother training it anymore, or maybe train it just before leveling it, because you're going to want to save those spirit stones, because level 6 alchemist, level 6 blacksmith is very high tier. That is, you're not going to get to that until you're well into Ascendance. That is very high level. Now moving on into the market. I'm not sure I mentioned black market last time, but you go into the black market, you spend a certain amount of spirit stones, and you can open up a random, you pick one and you possibly get more back. You want to do that 3 times a day, 4 times if you can see that little ad in the bottom right corner there. You can do it 4 times if you want. I mean, I recommend doing it if you're low on spirit stones, because it's worth the go. You might spend a little bit and you get like 1,000. You generally always come out on top, or at least in the positives. Now, another big question I've seen people ask, not so much on the last video, but just in general, and that's getting stuck upgrading your spiritual root. Now, as you can see, the key needed for my skills are 242,000-ish, and my max key is 314,000. That's really not far away. If I click level 6 epic for gold, and I level that up, you'll see it goes up to 253,000. Now, once you cap out and you reach the maximum that you can reach, you're going to find it very hard to level up your spirit root. Now, there's not really a good way around this except to focus on your key gathering array and leveling up your skills all the way to the max. That's really the only other way around it, because the higher the key gathering array, as you can see, the more you can store. The more you can store, obviously, the higher level your spiritual root can go. But it's one of those things where rather than just keep it at max and waiting for your level up, you spend the key because it's constantly generating in your skills. But that's just personal opinion. Again, this is not a professional telling you how this works. This is just me learning from my mistakes, and I'm just making these videos to help other people not make the same mistakes, I suppose. Now, moving on back into Sect. Now, we've been to Sect before. I explained most of the Sect, but one thing I didn't touch on was Sect Hopping. So when you're doing the worldly sects, if you haven't unlocked Yellow Earth or Yellow Sects or something, you can Sect Hop until you find a ultimate to your liking. So you just quit. I'm not going to quit because, again, I'm the sub leader here, but it will deduct reputations, and the reputations will get higher the higher the sect you're in. So if you want to Sect Hop from tier 4 sects, it's going to cost you a lot of reputations, but you can afford to do it as a low level in order to find a ultimate that you like. Whatever your highest stat is, you want to get a bonus Vital Energy X1 if that's your highest stat, or for the next tier bonus like Vital Energy X2, 3, Dexterity X4, that's probably the best one. Water Raw, I think that ultimate's cool, but that's a while away. You have to be quite a high level for that one. Now, I did not touch on the Alliance tab because that's slightly more advanced than a beginner, but we will go into it now, and I will explain. Again, it's a rather large interface, kind of confusing if you don't know what's going on. But first of all, we'll start from the bottom left, build. Now, this is important for the Alliance in general. Everyone has to work together to build the Alliance, shall we say. Now, obviously, you're just going to want to do primary construction because the other two are pay to win. No one's going to... Well, they do. People do spend Spirit Jade to do these constructions because apparently people have a lot of money. But yeah, I only do the 5 times a day for wood because it's cheap, it's effective, and it gets the job done. And you can see the activity level, 300, 600, 900. Like, if everyone does 5 times a day, you get 10 activity for it. So obviously we have 500 activity, so 10 people have done primary construction 10 times. 5 times, sorry. So that's the alliance construction. Now, skills, this one may confuse you a tad because they're also quite expensive if you've just joined an alliance and you're slowly generating alliance coins. But obviously, if you can't afford every single one to begin with, you're going to want to buy the skill that affects your ultimate the most. So if you have a strength X3 skill, you're going to want to get all the monolith origin levels that you can. And the higher level the alliance goes, the higher the level these stats can go. Now, I've leveled up, obviously, all of these down to, well, all of them, but we're not going to go into the ones where it says servant might, servant intellect, and so on. I'll leave that to the ascendance video because that's, once again, another very long talk. But to begin with, if you're a free-to-play like myself, you are going to want to get Heaven and Man in 1 and numerology as soon as you can. Like, obviously, if you've just joined an alliance, it is probably low level, so you're only going to be able to get level 1, maybe level 2, if you're lucky. I mean, even I'm only in an alliance that's up to level 6, I think. But yeah, so I've got everything because I could afford it. I've been in the alliance a long time, and now I'm just stacking coins because the level for alliance is so slow, and this seems to be a predominantly free-to-play guild. But going into shop, now this is another one that can be rather overwhelming because you don't know what to buy. Like, what do you buy if you're in this situation? Now, I would recommend superior booze if you have spare coins. Like, if you don't have your skills max, don't bother buying these. Superior booze is a luxury, shall we say, because superior booze will allow you to, when we go into dwelling and then wine cellar, it will allow you to brew superior stuff, which is a lot more stats than just 10. These will give you 25 per, and again, you can drink up to 250 of them. But that is a luxury, really. Oh, wrong one. But yeah, okay, moving down in shop. Now, these pills, I don't recommend buying them with Alliance. They're so expensive for these pills. It's so expensive, 1,000 just for one ascension. Now, you can get these pills for free up to ascension just by soul wandering in adventure, and that is what I recommend over anything else. Like 1,000 for one pill is ridiculously expensive. And I'll talk more about how you get half immortal pills in the ascension video, because that's you don't get half immortal pills from soul wandering. You have to actually buy them from somewhere. But anyway, good. Look how far down it goes. Immortal Emperor, Jesus. Anyway, celestial materials. These are all servant materials. I'm not going to touch on that yet because you don't need to know. They are pretty good pricing for what they do, but I'll explain more in the ascension video. Now, again, this is a servant. I'm sure you've seen it if you're in an alliance. Do not buy it if you're not ascended. Don't buy it. It's a waste. Level up everything prior to ascending. Do not get this, because even if you use it in your inventory, it's just going to disappear and you'll think it didn't work until you ascend, or you'll be angry that nothing's happened. But don't be angry. It's in heaven. You just have to get there first. But yeah, 50k for that when you haven't leveled up everything else is quite expensive. Now, Banquet. Banquet's quite straightforward. Once a day, the alliance leader or vice leader can seat themselves at a banquet. Obviously the alliance leader is going to be at the head, and then everyone else, the first 6 people, get to sit in with the alliance leader. The more people that join, as you can see here, number of participants, you want to have as many as you can. If you get more than 14, you get 1.8k, 90 meridian pills and some booze. That's always nice. But yeah, you can do that once a day. For this alliance, we do it 4 hours before tick over, the start of a new day. And that's the same with exorcism. So in exorcism, what you have to do is basically fight beasts. You have to fight them. It goes all the way up. But once a day, this will be activated. You can attack it and you'll get alliance coins for attacking it, and there'll be a ranking system. As you can see, I'm at the bottom of the ranking here. There's only 4 people that participated in it yesterday, which is depressing. We should really be having more people attacking it, but I think this alliance is on its way out. I'm going to have to leave and go to a different one, but I don't know whether if I leave, I will lose all my stats that I have here, and I might not be able to join another one for a while, but we'll see how that goes. Now, Defensive Tower, this is another Ascension thing. I can't even participate in this, but I'll talk about that later. Affairs, very important one. You want to do all 3 of these a day if you can afford to. It does take quite a bit of resources to start with, because you get items that you can't even use to begin with. But you do want to do all 3 every day, because it will stack up for when you ascend, because you'll get merits and sect fame. But I'll talk about that in the Ascendance video. Now, over here, ranking, obviously, it's just the ranking of the current alliances. We're 7th, which isn't saying much, because, realistically speaking, a lot of these people have quit going down the list, really. But, member list, simple. It's a list of all the members that you have on. We currently have people that have been offline for days. Just one person. But yeah, if your elite members and your vice alliance leaders are offline for more than 1 day, then you can be pretty sure they're probably not coming back, which is annoying for you. Now, another thing I see is that people ask, where the hell do I get pills to, like, level 3 pills and level 4 pills? And that is up here, 3rd floor on the Treasures Hall is generally where you're going to find level 3 and level 4 pills, and they'll be randomized every day. Every tick over, random new ones will pop up. If you've learned them, you've learned them. If you haven't, you can buy them. They are not that expensive, really, for the pills that they are. Level 2 is 8,000. Level 3 strength is 8,000 in the top left there. Pretty simple, but it can stack up to be quite expensive quite fast, especially if you need to buy all the tiers, like all the pills in one tier, which is quite a few sets. Could be like 8k if you need level 2 pills. Anyway, moving on into Talisman. No, we covered Talisman and Meridian. Inventory stones. Now, I don't know if you've noticed that my inventory is 78 spaces at the moment, which is far more than what you start with. But you get that from the same place that you get level 3 pill formulas. And you see level 8 storage stone plans, that's a very expensive plan. But you can get level 1 storage stone plan down in the 2nd floor of the Treasures Hall. And you will see down here, it's 5k for it, very cheap. Once you get it, you learn it, you use it in your inventory, and you'll need level 1 requires level 1 blacksmith, level 2 requires level 2 blacksmith. But once you get them and you unlock them, I just finished my level 5 alchemy furnace, lovely. But you can see down here it says level 1 storage stone. You make it, it'll cost you, it's pretty cheap, it costs you 10 mystic bronze iron, and then once you've made it, you go into your inventory and you use it, and your inventory will increase 1. Now, you can only use 13 per tier, so you can only use 13 1s, 13 2s, 13 3s, and so on. Now, I need another 12 level 5 storage stones, and I haven't been able to make them because, again, I didn't realise where to get a level 5 cauldron, which slowed me down and made me waste a lot, as I said before. So depressing. But, here I am making sure you people don't make the same mistake. Now, one of the second last things I want to touch on is indwelling and then study room. Going into books, and you'll see this auto studying. Now, I saved up over the course of probably like 2.5 weeks, maybe, to save up 48 Spirit Jade in order to learn auto reading. Now, when I first got this, I thought, oh yeah, cool. I just click reserve and it'll read 2 books instead of just 1. So I can like put on the 15-year books and then go to bed, wake up in the morning, do it again, sort of thing. But the reality is that it just keeps studying them once you reserve it. So at the moment, I'm studying this book, and it's giving me 749,300 cultivation base, along with enlightenment XP, literally every 4 years, which is about an hour. So 24 hours times 749,000 cultivation base is like a massive increase, especially free to play. You really want that sort of thing, but 48 Spirit Jade is a lot to save up for it. But at the end of the day, free to play doesn't really have much use for Spirit Jade other than helping us trying to get cultivation base, you know? But yeah, that's optional, really. You don't have to do it. If you have your eye on something else, by all means do it. But it's really helped me. I mean, I can go to half immortal right now. Okay, I might do that. Overcome. Do I have enough pills is the question. Use all. I do. Yes. What tribulations? I got pills for days. Nice. Half immortal 1. Damn. Woo. That's intense. Alright, well, there you go. I just passed Ascension and now I'm in half immortal, which has unlocked a whole bunch of new stuff up in heaven, but we will get to that again in the next video. Now, what I want to leave you with before I... Oh, look, I got a little... No, where is it? System? Activities, alliance, I don't know. Dang. It said congratulations, alas. Has a solid heart of Tao and overcame the ninefold tribulations and has successfully upgraded to half immortal 1. Oh, that's nice. The road of cultivation is long. Good God. Anyway, the last thing I want to leave you on is this gate of heaven up here. Now, there's 3 ways you can ascend to heaven, and, you know, it's a difficult choice because I had no idea there were 3 when I ascended myself. Absolutely no idea at all. So I just did guided ascension, which when you ascend, you'll get 1,000 stats, plus 1,000 of every stat when you ascend. But the downside is it's just 1,000 to all, which does sound like a lot, but if you pass the array yourself, because there is a fight that you have to pass, it's a massive, like, boss fight, I guess you could say. And it's the second way to ascend if you pass the array. And you get to choose where the 4,000 stats go. So that can really augment an ultimate for when you first go into Ascension. But it is much, much harder because you'll need at least 180,000 attack and defense to pass the Array of Heaven. It is quite a lot, and you'll have to stay down on Earth for a long time to do it. Now, the third way is fleshly body ascension. This is probably the hardest way. I mean, it's incredible how difficult that is. I mean, we've all read the novels, fleshly ascension is ridiculously hard, just leveling up your body. But this is on another level because I believe you need to get Godly Force 10 on your body, and that is just to get from 10 to a heavenly ascension on your body is 1.8 billion cultivation XP. Now, if you're free to play and you're on Earth for that long, it's going to take you a very long time to upgrade your body to that level. That's just an unfortunate fact. And you can do that, but it's really not that much different to a guided ascension. You do get 1,000 stats to all, or it might be more than that. I'm not too sure on those details, but it is incredibly time consuming. I think I saw one person, it took them 8,700 years to ascend to heaven just using fleshly ascension. I mean, hell of a commitment, but they weren't free to play either. I mean, that's just how much cultivation base is required to get up there, which is ridiculous, if you ask me. But yeah, I will leave this here. How long's this been going on? Oh, 24 minutes. It's less than the other one. All right. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me some questions, and I will come out with the Ascension video very soon. I shall cultivate later.